Hey guys, brand new G Fuel flavor.
Shark Week Gummy Sharks, which is super delicious. Check it out.
Gummies.
Links are down below. Every tub we sell goes directly to us. We get a cut of it. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And you're definitely going to need some G Fuel for how long this movie is. Hey,
So
guys.
that was a long-ass movie.
We just got back from Eddington. I decided to see Eddington
Why?
over I Know What You Did Last Summer because I was never really a fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, me neither. But
And this Eddington had a really interesting trailer to me. It looked chaotic. It looked like a man losing his mind, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. And we do get that for sure, but it comes with it a lot of stuff. And it's not particularly, how do I put this?
Yeah.
This is
How?
a very uncomfortable movie, I think on purpose.
yes.
I like Ari Aster. You definitely get an experience. Whether you like the experience or not, that's something different. When you get a movie like I Know What You Did Last Night, this is a tropey thing. You know what to expect. It's gonna be good or bad. These kinds of movies are layered. They make you think. There's allegory. There's messages and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And man, the first half of this film, I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this review. And this is cringy. This is annoying. This is really clunky political satire and commentary with COVID-19 and wearing masks and not wearing masks. But at a certain point, it does switch and it fucking ramps up and it grabs my attention at least. But then I think it does fumble it towards the end. And this, I mean... let me see here. Let me get some professionals, okay? Here's some professionals. It's a satire without laughs, a fright movie without jump scares, a western without an obvious villain, a social commentary minus a moral compass. Yeah. This is Peter Howell, Toronto star. He didn't like it. Here's another one. A peculiar rambling misfire that comes across as both overstuffed and undernourished, and whose attempts at provocation prove to be more feeble than genuinely outrageous. This is Peter from our tourist class. And one more that disliked it, Lindsay Barr from the Associated Press. Perhaps it's the kind of movie the future Gen Alpha cinephiles will point to as being ahead of its time. But right now, Eddington feels like the last thing any of us need. And I guess I kind of agree with that. If Superman is the film that we all needed right now, Eddington is the film that none of us needed, none of us asked for, and is too soon. I think it's a too soon kind of situation. And
Is it too soon? It was 2020.
we saw
COVID stuff and
it's been 4 or 5 years after all that hoopla. But what I'm saying is that whatever political and commentary is making about America and about social media and about us versus them kind of stuff, it really does end up getting lost. And maybe I'm not intelligent enough for this film to give you the social commentary and peel back every single layer. I do like A24 films. I do like these deep experiences, but here I think it's a mixed at best for me. Like there's a segment where the film turns into fucking Heat when goddamn fucking Val Kilmer and Al Pacino and there's action in there. But yeah, and I think even critics that did like it. Let's see. Here's one that liked it. Sarah Gore, The Spool. Filmmakers have long used their art to hold a mirror up to us. I'm just not sure audiences will be willing to look into this one. Yeah, it is going... I think this is going to be a film where critics hold it up and audiences are probably going to fucking hate it, right? I didn't hate it as much as I hated A24's Climax. because at least this had some good acting from Joaquin Phoenix. I think probably Joaquin Phoenix is the best part. Pedro does a little bit here, but it's mostly held up by Joaquin. But ultimately, it's a mess. It is. It's intriguing at times, but it is just uncomfortable on purpose. Just watching people argue over COVID and masks just made me like, I was like, oh, get me out of here. I don't want to hear about this shit. And it was not really handled very well. But the second half of the film is like, why couldn't I have this in the first half? What did you guys? I love taking the guys to A24 films.
I feel like that's what he does. He's like, it's a slow burn. At the end, yeah, it's all action and it gets crazy, but then like you're still trying to be along for the story. Yeah. And for me, like we saw the little A24 podcast. He was talking with Bill Hader. He's like, oh yeah, I bring in the problem. I'm not giving solutions, but I'm just like showing you the problem that's going on with society and all this stuff. Okay. So
Bill Hader loved it, by the way.
He's like, it's a masterpiece. That's his take, cool. But for me, I saw the trailer, and again, I was not interested. I didn't really. It was like, this is something maybe I could watch at home, and I still feel like this is something you can watch at home. I didn't hate it. I don't hate it.
I almost, because you brought up that podcast, I almost feel like Ari Aster's lying. Because he says that he's had this idea like 8 years before COVID. Yeah. But when you go into this film, this is like every molecule in this film is COVID and masks and that kind of social commentary between these things and the fabric of our society kind of getting, Antifa and right-wing
and it's just like, for
talking points. It's like, wait, what? And then we even go into deep conspiracy theorists and wild thing. It's just and I'm like, did you really write this 8 years before COVID? And he's like, it needed something extra.
Yeah, he said he was thinking about it during Hereditary and stuff, and then while he was working, and like more ideas just came together. But to
me, it seems like it's born from that. Yeah. Really? Okay, sorry, Joe, go ahead.
But honestly, it was like, it's a satire, but it's like too far left, too far right, and it's like kind of like, come on, this is like
it's
ridiculous.
The point, but it's still annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. I was honestly very annoyed with these characters. I didn't like these characters. Obviously, the best one was the main star, Joaquin. But again, for me, I still wouldn't go out to theaters and see this. I'd just watch it if it's at home or something streaming. Not worth your time, in my opinion.
I love taking you guys to these. At one point, I grabbed Alex's shoulder. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't even have no idea. But that was before it started to get a little good.
Yeah,
and then it had my attention at that point. And even a weird movie lover like me. This is a bizarre film. I think I like it a little more than you guys, but still, I don't think it comes quite through.
Yeah, these characters are too much.
And Alex makes this joke all the time about Ari Aster.
It's not a joke. It's
what's
in
Hereditary. What happens at the end of Hereditary? What happens at the end of Midsommar? Boo is Afraid. I fucking like that movie is shit, and I stopped paying attention. But I don't. Yeah,
it's
I
in
did.
there.
At a drive-through, and I forget what.
Oh, no, I mean, like, did you see his ending?
Every fucking time, he just loves old cocks. He's got to find a way to put fucking cocks in it. And in my head, I'm like, how is he? And it doesn't really serve a purpose in the story. Tiny purpose to the story, but it's like,
that's cruel. Don't call a tiny purpose. Joaquin, you're doing all right, man.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. That's why it's like maybe Joaquin is the one bringing it up because he's proud of himself, or is the conversation awkward every time? Or he's like, Joaquin, I need you to, pull your cock out again for this.
Let me see
it. And Joaquin's like, man.
I mean,
some kind of a sexual. It's like, I don't know why he needs to do this. There's always old person nudity and our Ari Aster. And when I defended it in Hereditary and Midsommar against these guys, I was like, nah, y'all are crazy. And now it's just there.
It's his mushroom stamp, right?
A bear bearing all, and now you can't deny it. He's like Quentin Tarantino, but with old people cocks.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect explanation of kind of how I feel about Ari Aster a lot of time is that he puts things in there.
Show me your old cock.
He just puts stuff in the movie that is like weird for weird's sake, and sometimes I love weird movies that have cool substance and we're doing fun things. But this movie especially has some of the, hey, I'm going to do something bizarre. And you're like, oh, we're going to have a purpose for it? He's like, nah, it's just going to be bizarre. It's like, it feels like he's tired of fucking movies in general. And I'm going to do something wacky. You know, it's like people kind of develop a fetish for something. They got to do something more extreme every single time because they're not satisfied by the norm. And the first hour of this movie is like the worst Thanksgiving dinner you could ever have with a TikTok addicted teen girl with too much empathy and a drunk racist uncle, and it's for a fucking hour. Yeah. There's not a reasonable, rational, smart adult in this entire fucking movie. Every character is tedious. Yes. They're all the dumbest person on the far right or the dumbest person on the far left, and they just argue.
Everyone's a piece of shit.
And it's not just COVID. This movie is about COVID. It's about George Floyd. It's about Antifa. It's about George Soros funded Antifa, which is a major point on this fucking movie. It is about technology and AI and
religious cults
and about taking over.
God damn it, Alex!
Native land.
I'm gonna bleep that.
Well, it's about all of this shit, and it's not a single smart, rational person talking about it. It's the dumbest fucking person you've ever met. Yeah. And so this movie, for the first hour, is so fucking tedious that no matter how interesting, and it does get interesting. I'm totally with you. The last half of this movie, cool stuff starts to happen. Maybe that's the part that he had written before. Yeah. Like where it feels like a functioning movie. Because that feels more developed. Yeah. That feels like something that could have possibly happened.
It turns into like a fever dream, and I'm like, more of this, please.
Yeah.
But the first half is repugnant.
The second half is bizarre, but there's a purpose for how bizarre things are. The first half is just hitting you in the fucking face over and over. Get it. Both sides are stupid. Get it. And it's like, we are just getting over the traumas of how dumb fucking people in this country are about everything. I don't need to go to everyone's Thanksgiving dinner and listening to these people argue about all this stuff. Yeah. So I don't think that this is an enjoyable movie. It's like 5 fucking hours long. Most of it is not good.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be this long.
And it's weird for fucking weird's sake, and I just don't think that counts as substance.
It's 2 hours and 28 minutes.
It feels like 5.
And if your social commentary is to say that America's fucking stupid and everybody's a fucking moron, I agree. That's it. But that's it.
It could have been done better.
What a great fucking message.
It could have been done better. Idiocracy did it amazing.
Yeah. It was entertaining. Well, this is entertaining. This is entertaining.
Towards the end.
Some of it is.
Okay, hold on. But a film that can piss you off and make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I get that's the point.
Entire can piss you off. Towards it.
Just,
and I like the fact that this movie makes you feel.
So,
okay, this is not Atlantic Rim, Joe. The shit that you watch. This is somebody with skill. Somebody but it's just his shit. Is not my bag.
Yeah, but I get it. But sometimes it's like, hey, I'm just gonna push your buttons. I'm gonna put why. I'm not having fun. I'm not having fun. I get it.
I keep thinking Eric, man, he's gonna come and do some more Hereditary, do some more Midsummer. I keep waiting for him to go back to horror or do some this, and the dude's like la 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 la. He's doing whatever and bombing at the box office. By the way. And so maybe he should go back to kind of what he was good at, because Hereditary, budget $10 million, box office $90 million. Midsummer, $9 million, box office $50 million. So it went down a little bit. Boo is Afraid. They were like, man, you're a great orator. You're an amazing director. Hereditary, Midsummer. Let's give you a $35 million budget for something that's not a horror. You can't really categorize Boo is Afraid. And box office, $11 million. It made a third of its budget. It is a huge bomb. And I feel like this will also be a bomb. Yeah. I don't know how much the budget's probably more under control here. Most of the money going to the big name actors. But I think it will also bomb. And his next project, Acting Class. Count me out.
Yeah. So there are good characters, there are bad characters, and it's very famous when we talk about the simplification of characters, where it's absurd to divide people into good and bad, people either charming or tedious. There isn't a charming character in this fucking movie. I found all of them bad, and it's not bad like
we'll talk about
Joffrey. I don't like Joffrey. I don't like some of these evil characters. I don't like anything about any of these people.
Yeah,
and if you were not asking me to, I just would be like, no, I don't want to talk about this movie. This movie isn't worth talking about. I'm not mad enough. I don't like it enough. I don't because I don't think it's awful.
No,
I don't dislike it enough to like rant and rave about it. It's just I don't think
it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, who's it for?
Theater.
We'll see.
It's this. There's a lot of skill and passion and creativity here. And a lot of the people are going to say, well, it's meant to make you uncomfortable. It's meant to be a parody of right wing.
It's supposed to make
meant to be a parody of
yeah,
left wing. It's surrealist. So all these conspiracies, are we'll talk in spoilers.
I love conspiracies.
But it doesn't come together in a satisfying story. But to me, it's intriguing the whole way through, and I a little appreciate being made feel uncomfortable at the beginning, and then because it has a better second half, I hated the ending. So there's that bright spot there, and maybe like Joe said, there was a good or maybe Alex, I don't know. The gestation of the idea needed longer, and the COVID actually worked against it. I don't know. But yeah. So I think that's about enough with this thing.
Spoilers.
It's one of those types of A24 films that I think you're either going to love or you're either going to hate.
Or mixed.
You're mixed?
I don't think it's bad.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
All right, then I take that back because
I
what
wouldn't
I'm saying,
go watch it. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everyone not to go watch it.
Well, that's what I mean on it. There is mixed results. There are good moments in the film, but overall, I wouldn't run out to the theater. I probably would skip theaters completely and catch this on one of your streaming services when it shows up there for free. Okay. So let's go ahead and go into final verdicts.
I'm going to go with the 4, below average. I did like some moments with some made me chuckle a couple times, but boy, was that fucking long, and I was bored, almost checked out. There were some moments that kind of pulled me back in, but then again, some stupid thing, I guess, just to piss you off just because was there, and it just, it did invoke some emotion. I was like, but it wasn't good. It wasn't like a good feeling.
Right.
It was just like kind of dumb, but like a whole bunch of all these ideas were just convoluted. I don't think it was told properly. Yeah, it's skipped for me.
Yeah, it's not. There's some tension there, but it's not in any way tense or suffocating like Warfare or Uncut Gems or one of these good movies where it's designing. It's trying to get an emotional response out of you. It's trying to make you uncomfortable. You're mostly uncomfortable by how unlikable and dumb everyone in this movie is. And it is like we go to lengths. There are some dumb fucking people in this movie.
It's actually kind of amazing. I don't know if there's another film that I hate every single character.
Yeah, there's one character. It's almost a spoiler that I kind of
Let's talk about it in the spoilers.
Yeah, but it's
we'll
like
go quick.
So it's like there's one character and he's not in the movie for all that long, and then there's one guy who has one line in the whole fucking movie, and it's the only part of the movie where like, yes, that's a good scene in this fucking movie. Right. So I don't. It's too long. It's overstuffed. It has no message whatsoever, which they were proud of before the movie. They're like, hey, we're not trying to solve anything. We're just showing, hey, Americans are fucking dumbasses, and you're like, yeah, I get it. I was there. They still fucking are dumbasses. Yeah. I don't need.
What's your point?
I don't need to watch it.
What's your point? Americans are dumbasses.
It's like
I lived it.
It's a mental intelligence snuff film. You watch the decline of American society on fucking screen, and you want people to clap at the end of it. So yeah, it's a below average movie. Yeah, I think even if you're an A24 fan, this is not going to be on anyone's top 10 fucking list.
Nah.
Like this would have to be the second movie you've ever fucking seen for you to have it, be high up on your list. So,
or you have to, yeah, I get it. I think, for me personally, I think Boo is Afraid is probably even worse, a little more uncomfortable, a little squirmy. I guess this is his thing now. I have to try to remember Boo is Afraid. I think I like it a little bit better because of the second half of this film. I can't remember. And but I mean that's not saying much, right? Because that film obviously very mixed, and this is also mixed. I like these types of films more than The Boys. I see what directors are going for. If you can make me feel emotions, if you can make me, lose myself in the world, and there were moments where I'm like, having that surreal thing, like what, when you kind of look around and you're like, am I high? Or it's like I had some of that, and I like it when directors can do that, like David Lynch and that kind of stuff. And that's a little bit here, but it's not enough to overcome all of the film's flaws and annoyances, and rather flat, boring parts that could have been more, that could have been cut and made this thing tighter and get the message across better. It's 2.5 hours. It doesn't need to be 2.5 hours. Maybe that contributes to the hell that I feel like I'm in. And if that's the point, that you're in hell, we're in hell together, and everybody's stupid, you did it. You fucking did it. But I was in hell, and I felt everyone was stupid. So that's not really going. I mean, so if you're a film fan, and if you go to drama classes and stuff, then this might be a 9 out of 10 on that merit, But for me, it's not. It's just not my thing. I don't think it's some of his better work either. So, I'm losing. I guess we'll never get that next horror, because I was like, Hereditary, Midsommar, I love both of those films so much. And I was like, man, this up-and-coming director, I can't wait to see what he does next. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm hitting with these. But at least he's doing his thing, right? So, but for me, it's not working. I'm going to end at I like it more than Boo, so I'm going to go 5 out of 10. I think half the film works. And honestly, the ending could probably drag it down to 4 out of 10, a below average thing for me. But I'm going to leave it at 5 for now, because oftentimes films like these need a rewatch, and I might find more things that I like, but we're already in this area, and I don't think we're going anywhere near super high. So that's it. We can talk a little bit of spoilers now in the spoiler section. If politics and all that stuff and social commentary is sensitive for you, don't watch don't watch this, and don't watch our spoilers discussion. So thank you so much for watching. Maybe I Know What You Did Last Summer was the right choice. I don't know. Maybe that film sucks too. How about you go see Superman again twice?
Joe, I did twice already.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Because your money would be better spent
Smurfs is out.
watching that. Joe, that has a 27%. I don't have any faith that that's any good. So, Superman rewatch. I don't care how many times you've seen it. I should have put this at the front of the video. All right, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Hey guys, welcome to the spoilers discussions. So essentially, it's Joaquin Phoenix is this unhinged loser sheriff of a very small town where things are happening all across the country. COVID, George Floyd, and the small town feels like they need to get involved, and they need to give their take on it. And so this sheriff doesn't want to wear masks. He thinks it's stupid. The opening is some cops saying, hey, you're in our jurisdiction. We've told you several times, wear your fucking mask. He's like, I don't want to wear my mask. And I'm like, oh, my God, I get it. that one scene, I just hate the discussion of masks and no masks. I don't want to have to fucking explain to somebody that it's like, hey, why don't you just wear the mask to be fucking polite?
See,
you
I
know,
think that
was
scene would
never
work
in
better
there.
if he wasn't by himself. If he's by himself in the car, he's just like I'm just here by myself.
But
he's like in the store or something, that would have been like, hey, like we told you this before.
Right, that's probably, but they do that later.
Yeah, later.
So we get this, and I'm like, okay, fuck. Thank you for putting that in. Let's move on. We never move on. That goes until the halfway point, which is exactly where the film picks up for me, is when they drop all that stuff.
Yeah, there are two tribal police officers. He's alone in a car by himself, and they're like, you need to have a mask on. It's like, that's the level of commentary that we're getting. It's like, there is. And so, again, like you mentioned, we covered George Floyd, climate change, massive drought, tech industry coming in, taking over small towns, the mistreatment of natives on their land, Black Lives Matter, white guilt,
racism, reverse racism.
Reverse racism.
The kids.
Yeah, the kid stuff, the PDF
kids,
files.
Bullies, taking your girl, pieces of shit, entitled rich kids.
The mistreatment of the homeless. I mean, it tries to cover all these things, but again, it just does it by the dumbest people that you've ever met.
And says nothing. It just presents it, which is somehow what Bill Hader likes. He likes, I'm glad that you brought up the question and offered no solutions. Was that what he was saying in the podcast?
Yeah, you would have to have your head so far up your fucking ass to not know the problem. So again, you have to have been living in a cave for a decade to not know all of these things that he beats you over the fucking head with for an hour.
Yeah,
maybe an hour and a half.
We went through this, and I don't want to watch people argue over fucking masks. I absolutely do not. And that's what you do for an hour.
A really
it feels like more
long time.
than an hour.
We forgot about the whole cult thing, the cultish thing, and people diving. Yeah, it's too much shit that he's trying to show how dumb these people are.
And I kept thinking, man, this is going to be masterful as fuck if this all comes together in an interesting way at the end, and it doesn't.
He just drops every one of those plots. And so the movie actually, for me, really starts when Joaquin Phoenix... earlier in the movie, Joaquin Phoenix is mad at Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal's the mayor, and there are rumors that Pedro Pascal had dated Joaquin Phoenix's wife when they were teenagers.
He did. I think he did.
Yeah, but they never consummated the relationship. But like, he's weird about it, and so he's like, I'm going to run for mayor too. You can't tell me to wear a mask. I'm going to do all these things.
Like, is this because of the past?
Yeah, and then so this movie goes on, and it's really boring and really bad for at least a fucking hour. And then out of fucking nowhere, Joaquin Phoenix assassinates him.
Yeah.
Just kills him and his kid.
Yeah, I'm like, holy
fuck. The whole theater was like, what the fuck?
And then the movie starts.
I was like, the movie begins.
Yeah,
we had an hour of setup. You didn't need this. We could have 30 minutes of setup at max.
10 minutes.
But we had an hour. No, I think we need more
it was
than that
fucking
to really
slap,
establish the feeling.
That slap that woke him up. I'm like, okay. Now
I'm interested. Not only that, but his piece of shit son comes in because earlier in the film, there's this white kid who has this crush on this girl. I hate this subplot so much. Yes. And he wants to get her attention, and his friend is like, oh, of course, she sucks, man. I wouldn't be interested in her at all. And then, and so it goes along, but then that's Pedro Pascal's son, who's a piece of shit. She sucks. And he ends up fucking macking on her and taking the girl and he's even making out with her, taking pictures and sending it to his supposed friend. Like, what the fuck? And he's just a piece of shit. So then he comes in, and when Pedro's like, who's this purse here? I said no people over tonight. He gets fucking sniped, and you see the muzzle flash in the distance. It's cool as fuck. And then his son comes in, Dad, what the hell's going on? And then it misses him, and his son's like running, and I was like, hit that motherfucker. Yeah. The kid fucking dies. And I thought the chick would be in the house too, but she wasn't.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And so that's when the movie begins. And then you have the motherfucker trying to cover up. So, then you have the sheriff cover up poorly because he's an incompetent fuck up. And he's a fuck up. The whole film, his wife isn't really that interested in him.
His
mother-in-law's bickering at him the whole fucking time, and they hate each other's existences. But by the end of the movie, they have to ally to continue their sorry ass existence together. because the daughter leaves for some religious cult guy who comes spouting the biggest nonsense that makes me want to punch him and everybody in proximity. And even and this is what I kind of like, is even the fucking grandma who all she fucking does all day long is look up conspiracy theories. Even she's like, this guy is full of fucking shit. And she's like, I can't. And she leaves. And to see her daughter get manipulated by this guy, and eventually she leaves. And yeah, so it's fucking crazy. But we get an hour of the mask versus no mask, where the sheriff is, responding to calls where people are trying to go in the grocery store. They don't want to wear masks. And then the sheriff's like, no, I support you. He has asthma. Look, we need to stop treating people like this. Let's be kind. And then just being ignorant and using his position of power and authority in a negative way. I get that's the point.
Is it satisfying to watch?
But yet there's still more. The subplot with Brian is like he's trying to get the girl. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to start doing this, researching all this stuff. And he goes to his parents. He's like, well, this and this.
Hilarious.
The best part of the whole movie.
Best part is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are you fucking retarded?
You are white, and that's like
you are white.
Peak point of the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, so
and I was like,
it
was almost worth it to have all that set up. Almost,
but then he starts doing protests and everything, and this starts. It's just like so much.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So the second half of this movie is ultimately about a sheriff who doesn't like the mayor. It has nothing to do with COVID.
Yeah,
so like if we can keep the whole relationship thing where it's like, hey, you dated my wife.
How is this a Western?
And so it's like, and then things devolve, and then he kills the mayor, and he's trying to cover up for his crimes, and he's even framing his deputies, and all this crazy stuff happens. And we could have had a good ending of the movie until we injected that there are actually
super rich
George Soros, and they say it over and over. Like Trump is in this constantly, and as far as like news articles go, they show George Soros' name funding Antifa thugs in private jets, and they're smoking, and they're doing all this false flag shit all over the country, and they're killing cops, and they're blaming it on protesters.
They actually exist,
and they're doing all of this, and then so more of the shit from the beginning bleeds into the actually kind of cool stuff we were getting at the end. And then the only thing that I kind of like that it set up is he gets into like a gunfight and he's losing, but he kind of kicks his way into a gun shop. And then we get like a 5-minute segment of just crazy
gunfight. It turns into heat. He comes out with a goddamn fucking machine gun, a heavy machine gun.
He shot the only character I actually liked.
Who?
The Native American guy, Butterfly.
I know.
Okay. But he was the best one.
So we get there. In his cover-up, he tries to frame one of his black police officers because he has a tie to the white girlfriend who was protesting, and he tried to frame them no peace, no whatever, as this is why the mayor was killed, and it was just fucked up. This guy's a piece of shit. Joaquin Phoenix's character sucks, and you want to see him get his comeuppings.
Then you get
but then he turns into a hero, and you're like rooting for him to beat Antifa, and Antifa's real, or at least this small branch of Antifa's real. And there was social media posts where they're killing cops and it's like shooting, and it's like that never happened. But in the same film that you're actually showing, George Floyd getting beat up by cops and the Black Lives Movement, and it's like, this is really insulting. You're doing like real life and things and treating it so like it's a fucking joke, and then you have this, and it's just it's handled poorly.
Yes.
But it spirals out of control in an interesting way, where this fuck up is just rolling down mountains and fucking running in the fucking desert while the Antifa is shooting him up, and then eventually, and the camera gets serious, and this is some well shot action where we are military, and apparently the sheriff is really good.
He can really shoot. He's really good.
He's really good. Yeah. And, so he's shooting Antifa in the streets. And at one point, something, and you're intense because Antifa's in black. And you see these wide shots, and you're like, I think I see something. And he fires at it, and then another one. And then you're constantly on edge looking for the next Antifa member. But then he sees something go behind a truck, and he charges it. He's out in the open the whole time, never takes cover. That's stupid, but it creates tension. And he shoots at it, but he runs out of ammunition. He turns around, the last Antifa member just, I don't know, running at him, and slams a fucking knife into his head. And really creative shots here. I've always thought about what would it be like, point of view, to fucking die, or to get a fucking knife slammed into your forehead. And they do this interesting thing with the vision, and it goes first person point. It's like, this is where all the skill and interesting shit is. And then he falls on the ground, and then it turns out that the person behind the truck was the stupid piece of shit white kid that was doing the white guild stuff and was trying to get the girl, but then goes off and turns into, what's that kid? Oh my
Rittenhouse?
God. Yeah. Yes, and then he gets glorified, and then he's on the social media and the right-wing media.
He has a new
He's
wife.
A celebrity for shooting Antifa
He's
down.
talking with James Woods, who James Woods is James Woods.
He's actually in this.
And it's just like, what the fuck is happening here?
Oh, you're ruining it again. You went back to the stupid ass shit.
Yeah, he was taking pictures with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and so
that was fake. She wasn't in that.
Well, obviously, but it's still there.
It frames him as just, he's an easily swayed idiot. And again, everyone in this movie is supposed to be fucking stupid. Yeah. And I don't think you're supposed to like him. So congratulations, you're successful. I didn't like any of these people.
He's just showing you the society.
Yeah,
and he's also saying that
I already know I don't.
George Soros's elite forces are real.
But they're really bad shots. They're so bad shots because he's
really bad shots.
He's got COVID and asthma, and he's like, it's actually a point because they can't get him into the hospital because he's got COVID so bad. His temperature's 105, and they're like, get him in the hospital. He's like, no, get him to the tent. His temperature's 105, so he can't get proper care. So he's. He's in a
I thought that was going to be even more of a role because he's like, I don't.
So then it's like, then I was like, okay, just fucking end this thing mercifully. The kid gets glorified on right-wing media, and it doesn't stop. And I'm like, wait a minute, because then he opens his eyes. You're still in the point of view of the fucked up vision. I'm like, he's going to survive. They take him to the hospital. He does survive, but he has
the next scene is like the camera,
paralysis.
Or the phone is like sideways, so you see all the stuff going on.
And I'm so mad. I'm like, I have to do this the whole fucking time to even enjoy what the fuck
That's his life now. You're in his vision. That's what he's doing.
Yes. And that's why they're holding the phone and shit.
And he's now the mayor. His mother-in-law, who hates him and who's a nut job, is kind of his handler. And she's taking care of him. He was installed as mayor by the evil tech corporation, which is stealing all the water and energy and probably siphoning all the money out of the system. He goes to the mayor's house, and this is where we see his dick. His
caretaker plops him on the toilet as he takes a shit, and we get to enjoy it. I don't know. Ari Aster's like, I need Joaquin Phoenix's cock in this film somewhere. This is where I'm putting it. And Joaquin Phoenix is like, all right, man. He takes his pants down, and
then he goes,
I don't know how
they put him in bed, and the mom's sleeping next to him, and then the caretaker.
Old person sex.
The nurse, the young male nurse, ends up stripping down and getting into bed with the mother-in-law, which shares the bed with Joaquin Phoenix.
And they probably have sex.
He's not in a vegetative.
They don't immediately start fucking, but you know what's going to happen eventually.
And he's not a vegetable.
No.
He is cognizant of what's happening, so much so that he has like a panic attack when he realizes that his ex-wife, who refused to get intimate with him under any circumstance because she had been abused by her father, is now banging Austin Butler, who's whatever. And so this dude has to sit there and not able to move, listening to his mother-in-law get banged out by the male nurse.
So he does get his comeuppings by the end.
Someone's coming somewhere.
Oh, Jesus Christ. For killing a kid.
Yeah,
and
we forgot
Pedro
about
Pascal.
Yeah, we forgot about what's his name, Will.
What about
the cop,
who's Will?
The one who exploded.
He
lived.
lived.
Yeah.
So you've got this guy Will or something, who constantly calls the sheriff to let him know all these different things that are happening. He's okay with framing his fellow officer, just a piece of shit and just aggressive. He puts on all the riot gear. He's ready to beat up people as the small town starts to get, more and more upset about what's going on in the country.
Then you see him kind of sway. He's like, well, before I didn't see race, and then it's like, I don't know about now. Is he a cop or is he
one of these other things? And I guess it's, again, social
Yes.
commentary. It's political commentary, how brothers and friends and even people on the same side can turn against each other when you get wrapped up in it. And I get it. I understand it. And there are moments that you could pull from the film, and I just wish it was when you do something like this, it has to be a high degree. There's a high degree of difficulty, and it has to be handled with care and attention. And this is just, I'm going to shotgun blast all over you motherfuckers.
So maybe it's not a good thing to take an 8-year-old script that you couldn't sell to fucking anybody on earth and then plaster lazily and shittily the most hot button political issues in it nonstop for a fucking hour. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
You're telling me that's going to cause a box
that's-
office failure? Because I feel like it's going to be a
There's no
fucked
way
up-
this is going to be successful. Audiences are coming. I walked down here as one person didn't like it. One person said that was bizarre. You know, that's the best you can say. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but there was also, let's see. So his wife is pregnant with the religious cult leader's child. She's creepily smiling at the camera, and he's like, you know, he's freaking out, and so he's living in hell. Also in a Mexican restaurant, he makes an announcement that Pedro Pascal's mayor character sexually assaulted his wife.
It never
but
happened.
it never happened. But there was a scene before that where he asked his wife, "What happened? Is it because, you know, your dad? Is it because of the mayor? Was it the mayor? Is it the mayor?" And you see in his head,
wants
he
it to be,
convinces himself
Yeah,
that
she
it's
goes
the mayor,
to sleep.
and he just goes on her behalf. Without her permission, becomes the mayor. Without her permission, outs her assault.
Yeah.
And he's just a piece of shit. And it's like, ah.
Even if Austin Butler didn't look like Austin Butler, she was going to leave his ass. So
Yeah. And this is when he's supposed to be taking care of a Black Lives Matter or a social justice mob that has shown up. It grew throughout the film. But this is odd because for no apparent reason, as it's getting, the cacophony is getting higher and higher and tensions are getting, there's only 3 officers in this small town to take care of 200 people.
well, it was explained,
Some
Joe.
random thing happens.
It was explained, Joe. He
was
lost
it?
all of his deputies. One was arrested for police brutality.
Yeah.
One got dismissed for something creepy and took bribes.
Something about fentanyl.
Yeah, one died
Yeah.
from fentanyl overdose, and then the other guy's like, "Oh, all of the state troopers are in Albuquerque because of the George Floyd riots."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what? Okay. But what happened there? Like, one side is like, I want everybody to get on their knee, and then they all got on their knee, and they all got quiet. Was that a reference to Colin Kaepernick or something?
No, well, because it was they were there in riot gear with weapons held up, and the second the police showed violence, they wanted to show how non-violent they were to show that all
So
cops
some
are
random
bad.
person said, everybody go on their knee, and then
Yeah.
everybody stopped. Because I thought it was all going to explode there, but it doesn't.
No, it was kind of like the ringleader guy that was arguing. He's like, "Oh, I got my first," and he's wrong about all of his first. He's like, "Oh, I can do this." It's like, no, but again, everyone in here is wrong about simple things.
What was the right? So the best person in the film is the
kid's
Indian police
Butterfly.
officer.
No, the kid's dad. Who asked? Who's
The kid's dad?
Yeah. What
Oh,
he's at-
yeah. Are you fucking retarded? Or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
But other than that, yes, Butterfly is a super smart character that figures everything out and
that's
then
like
dies.
one of
Name's Butterfly?
Yeah.
Oh.
The funny part I like is
sucks
like
that he
he's like
dies.
piecing everything together. He's like, all right, I'm on to him, and he sees.
I love this
He
guy.
sees the 3 or the E. He's like, it's kind of the same writing. Then he just takes off running.
Right, because he saw the
like, oh.
slogan on the sheriff's whiteboard when they were brainstorming ideas. But he's always just like standing there, just watching, and it's like, is anybody gonna? Can we help you? And it's weird because it's police officer versus police officer. I liked it. It was really cool. Unfortunately, he's always around. Well, he's always around during the Antifa gunfight, and when he comes out with the fucking M50 or whatever it was, he blasts his leg off on accident. He's like, oh, sorry. He tries to go over there to help him, but
Antifa
Butterfly
kills him.
gets his head blown off. Yeah.
But they painted a nice mural for him at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean,
Maybe it was an M2 Browning.
there's not a lot of substance to this movie outside of the stuff we've been talking about because again, it is an hour of the dumbest people talking about the dumbest stuff and fighting about it.
Yeah, and that's when I thought they had jumped the fucking shark and I guess that's the purpose of this jet with the world in a hand squeezing the world. Like, where does this thing land? It's like, who's in this jet? And it's Antifa, and they're all putting their gear on, and the elite corps, and they got all champagne and stuff. And I thought, okay, it can't get this wacky. And I was like, he's going to do something clever at the end where it's all in his head.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking, maybe?
I was hoping.
Like, he's actually just shooting up, like, I don't know, citizens in the street that are out, and he's just lost his mind. But no.
It is George Soros-funded
George Soros, elite for Antifa forces. And the right-wing kid does take credit, or he becomes an icon on social media for helping the sheriff. And then at the end of the film, I didn't stay after credits. I didn't bother to see if there's an after credit scene because it just
the old lady
ends.
Getting railed out by the nurse.
Yeah,
that's
you hear that at some point. But there's the mega corporation builds its fucking data center there,
Golden
and it
Magic
just
Carpet.
ends on that. Yeah. And then Ari Aster, written and directed by. And the theater was dead silent.
Mike is still alive. He's just zooming in on him, so maybe he's gonna.
Oh yes. So the police officer,
him.
I felt really sorry for this guy because at some point he breaks out, and I'm like, yes, they were trying to frame this black police officer. Michael's getting fucked over. His girlfriend is like, they're trying to implicate him because he had a relationship with that one white girl, and you are a really good shot and all this stuff. But he ends up breaking out, and I'm like, oh, thank God. But he's out in the middle of a quarry, and this is where the movie goes insane, and Joaquin drives there, and Guy's already there. He's already like, put your weapon down. They're screaming at each other, and I'm like, what are we walking into? And there's a drone in the air, and so somebody's filming it, and it was the elite Antifa force that as soon as a guy walked forward, a huge mine explodes, and it blasts
because he's trying to tell them, like, don't come any closer, but he couldn't really. He couldn't say. He's like, they're gonna shoot.
Were there dead people on the floor?
No.
It looked like I saw some like bodies or something.
Well, guy got blown into.
I know there was that, but it was he was. There was a barrel on fire. You got the cop Michael, but I thought I saw bodies.
Yeah,
and so that's why he had his pistol drawn.
I didn't notice.
So, and he walked over, blew up, and it knocks Joaquin Phoenix back. But when he wakes up, they also mentioned it smells like gas everywhere, and it's because Antifa lights this thing says "No peace," which is the same thing that he wrote on the wall.
No justice, no peace.
He just so happened to use the same thing as Antifa. So his tactic was sound, even though it's fucking stupid. And then this and that. And then he tries to fire at the drone. And you see a guy operating the drone. And the most obvious thing, why would you fly the drone?
You're still close.
You're leading the guy to where you're at. And so then he tries to fire at the guy in the distance, can't hit him. They fire a 50 cal at him or a machine gun at him, and he has to duck. And then this is where the film, kind of gets interesting because it's just almost like not a one-shot thing, but just a sequence.
Yeah, he walks over to Mike too because
really cool.
he looks like he's pretty much fucking gone.
But he leaves him
to fucking die.
He leaves him to die because you can tell that he's alive. So once the movie ended, Antifa, there's a bunch of dudes in this truck. There's a guy with a 50 cal. There's a guy driving. There's a guy with a drone. They need to kill Joaquin Phoenix. And they try nonstop for the entire rest of the movie. But they just fucking drive away when he's got no gun, no anything.
They drove into a patch of cacti.
Oh, well, that's later. That's way later when they're chasing him. I mean, when he shoots at them, they take off.
Yeah,
they need him to die, which is why they spend the rest of the movie trying to kill him. Also, they have a machine gun, and he's on the ground with no bullets.
At that point,
yeah.
they should just rush him.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, they're scared of a guy with a pistol who has a concussion. Right. I guess they're not elite forces after all. They're just a bunch of rich kids funded by George Soros or something. But anyways, he walks all the way to his fucking house, and there's a taxi there, and he's like, it's so surreal because the taxi driver's like, what the fuck? This guy coming up with a pistol. He looks like he's been in war. Goes inside, thinks it's his wife because somebody's in the house, and they got this cool sequence, and this is all tension film. It's not his wife. It's his wife's mother. mother-in-law, and she's like, I gotta go, and then sniper shots ring out, and that's when more action happens. So that's a good part of the film. When you watch it on VOD, when you got nothing else to do, that's when you'll be entertained. You will be entertained by that, because I think it's expertly shot, interesting, and I just don't think you need an hour of bullshit before it to get it set up. Some people be like, no, you need to fully be massaged and set up for that surrealist feeling. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, some people have really thick fucking skulls, and you have to hit them in the head over and over and over with them before they get certain things. Yeah.
There you go. That's it. I think we can end there. Because that's what must have happened to Ari Aster if he thought that this was but it's an interesting take. I will say it's fascinating, but it's not my thing.
Pull up the AJS prediction.
What is the prediction document?
His next
Acting
movie.
class.
How many wieners? How many wieners?
How many? No, it needs to just be, is there still wiener nudity or no wiener nudity?
Yes.
Yes?
But you get bonus points.
Wiener nudity?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
going to say yes.
two.
Well, two?
See, that's what he's saying. He's saying more than one wiener.
I think he knows it's becoming.
That's a spicy.
I think he
I'm gonna say
knows
yes.
it's a thing now.
Two wieners.
Now,
One wiener.
call
An
it shot.
acting class.
Is it Joaquin Phoenix's wiener that you see again?
No, he's not going to use Joaquin Phoenix 3 times in a row, right? He's already used
right.
and in colossal box office failures, acting class. Ari Aster. I'm so fascinated. Now I have next film, acting class.
What is it about?
Acting class.
Is it something crazy?
Status, active development, writer-director Ari Aster. Acting class creates a tapestry of disconnect, distrust, and manipulation. 10 strangers are brought together under the tutelage of John Smith, a mysterious and morally questionable leader. A group of social misfits and restless researchers have one thing in common. They are out of step with their surroundings and desperate for a change. Husband and wife, 4 years into the marriage, simmering in boredom. Single mother, her young son showing disturbing signs of mental instability. A peculiar woman with few friends, blah, 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 blah. When the line between real life and imagination begins to blur, the group's deepest fears and desires are laid to bear. Exploring the tension between who we are and how we present takes us through an unsettling American journey. Why does he have to do this every time? So, yeah, there's probably, of those 10 people, there's probably going to be a sexual sex scene.
So it's
with
going to be like, they're going to be trapped in there. The teacher's going to be a crazy fucking teacher. It's going to be a climax, but everyone has to, like, improv. Do improv.
Oh,
but it's going to be like,
good. If there's improvisational dance, I'm going to throw myself out the window.
Drink.
That's a better movie,
start
John.
acting.
No, that's not. It's not
It's
Saw.
improv.
No.
No, it's improv. No one's torturing anyone. They just got to do it like improv.
Improv can be torture, man.
It can.
It can. I love it sometimes, but man, it can be torture most of the time.
Ari Aster's going to crash out in acting class. This is hilarious. All right. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you thought of this film.
Shark.
If you have the
Stay awake.
unfortunate, stay awake. Get a G Fuel. It helps support the show. If you had the unfortunate, honor of having seen it, let me know your thoughts below. Did you really like it? Don't worry about us. Did you really hate it? Hey, you got it there. Or are you excited about acting class and what Ari Aster is going to do next? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next AngryJoe show. Bye, guys.